Welcome to Women Tennis USA. I am Mary Carillo, and today the story unfolding across the women's tennis landscape is not just about a match, a ranking, or a single result on a draw sheet. It is about a message, delivered not with a press release or a social media post, but with a racket, a court, and a young player's unmistakable sense of purpose. Alex Eala has just sent a message to the WTA, and it is resonating far beyond the baseline. In a sport that is constantly searching for its next defining presence, Alex Eala's emergence has taken on a clarity that now feels impossible to ignore. For years, she was discussed as a promising junior, a name attached to junior Grand Slam trophies and early milestones that suggested potential. Potential, however, is tennis currency that only holds value until it is converted into results against grown professionals with experience, strength, and scars earned over long careers. What has changed is that Eala is no longer speaking in the language of promise. She is speaking in the language of arrival. The message she has sent is layered. On the surface, it is about results, about competitive composure, about the way she has stepped onto courts traditionally dominated by older, more physically imposing players and refused to be overwhelmed. Beneath that, the message is cultural and generational. It speaks to the globalization of women's tennis, to the expanding geography of elite competition, and to the way the WTA Tour continues to be reshaped by voices from regions once considered peripheral to the sport's power centers. Alex Eala's journey matters because it challenges assumptions. She comes from the Philippines, a nation where basketball courts are more common than tennis academies, where Grand Slam champions are admired from afar rather than produced at home. Yet her development path, including training at elite international academies and competing relentlessly across junior and professional circuits, has equipped her with a style that is modern, disciplined, and tactically aware. She plays with margins that suggest she understands the long game, not just the highlight reel. What the WTA has heard in her recent performances is a statement of readiness. Eala has shown an ability to absorb pressure without rushing. Her footwork has sharpened, her shot selection has matured, and her court positioning reflects a player who trusts her preparation. These are not accidental traits. They are built through repetition, through losses studied carefully, and through a willingness to evolve. When she steps into rallies against higher-ranked opponents and holds her ground, the message is unmistakable: she belongs in these exchanges. This matters deeply in a women's game that is both fiercely competitive and remarkably open. The WTA Tour has seen a rotating cast of champions, breakthrough finalists, and sudden surges from players once considered outsiders. In this environment, consistency and adaptability are the currencies of respect. Eala's recent run of form, regardless of the specific tournament or round, has demonstrated that she is beginning to understand how to manage the tour's rhythms. Travel, recovery, match-to-match adjustments, and the emotional demands of professional tennis are all being met with a calm that belies her age. For the WTA as an organization, the message is strategic as well as competitive. Alex Eala represents a bridge to new audiences. Southeast Asia is a region with immense passion for sport and a rapidly growing appetite for tennis stories that feel personal and representative. When a player from the Philippines steps onto a WTA court and competes with confidence, it expands the tour's narrative footprint. It invites new fans, new broadcasters, and new conversations into the ecosystem of women's tennis. But this is not simply about market expansion. It is about legitimacy earned on court. Eala's message would ring hollow if it were not backed by tangible performance. What has turned heads is her willingness to engage in long rallies, to defend intelligently, and to transition forward when opportunities arise. She is not attempting to overpower the tour prematurely. Instead, she is constructing points, testing opponents' patience, and demonstrating an understanding of patterns that separate contenders from hopefuls. There is also a psychological message embedded in her rise. Younger players often struggle with the weight of expectation, especially when they carry the hopes of a nation or region. Eala appears to be managing this pressure with a grounded approach. She speaks through her tennis rather than around it. On court, her body language suggests focus rather than fear, curiosity rather than caution. For the WTA, this signals a player who may be capable of sustaining growth rather than burning brightly and briefly. Mary Carillo has watched generations of players announce themselves in different ways. Some arrive with thunderous power, others with relentless consistency. Eala's message feels measured, intelligent, and quietly confident. It is a reminder that women's tennis thrives not only on star power but on the diversity of playing styles and personal stories that enrich the tour. Her presence adds texture to draws that already feature established champions and rising stars from across the globe. The competitive implications are significant. As Eala continues to gain experience, she becomes a dangerous early-round opponent. She brings unfamiliarity, left-field patterns, and the hunger of a player who knows she has something to prove every time she walks onto court. For seeded players, facing her is no longer a formality. It is a test of focus and respect. That shift alone signals that her message has landed. Beyond individual matches, her progress contributes to a broader conversation about development pathways in women's tennis. Eala's success underscores the value of international training environments combined with strong personal identity. She has not abandoned her roots, she has amplified them on a global stage. The WTA has long celebrated players who carry their countries with pride, and Eala fits seamlessly into that tradition. There is also a symbolic resonance to her timing. Women's tennis is in a phase of renewal, with veterans redefining longevity and younger players accelerating their learning curves. Eala's ascent aligns with this moment, offering a case study in patience rewarded. She did not rush into the professional spotlight unprepared. She built a foundation, absorbed lessons, and waited until her game could speak with clarity. The message to aspiring players watching from afar is powerful. Alex Eala demonstrates that access barriers, while real, are not insurmountable. Her story reinforces the importance of opportunity, support systems, and belief. For the WTA, this narrative enhances the tour's role as a platform for global talent, not just established tennis nations. As the season unfolds, the question is no longer whether Alex Eala can compete at this level. It is how quickly she can adapt to the tactical chess matches that define the later rounds of tournaments. Can she continue to refine her serve placement under pressure? Can she maintain depth and discipline when opponents target her movement? These are the questions that shape careers, and they are now being asked seriously about her future. What is clear is that the message she has sent is not fleeting. It is not dependent on a single upset or a brief surge of form. It is rooted in the visible progression of her game and the composure she brings to competition. The WTA, attentive to shifts in momentum and narrative, has taken notice. In the broader tapestry of women's tennis, Alex Eala's emergence enriches the story. It adds a voice that speaks of ambition balanced with humility, of global reach grounded in competitive substance. For fans, it offers a new journey to follow, one that promises growth, challenges, and moments of revelation. Here at Women Tennis USA, we recognize that messages in tennis are often sent quietly, one point at a time. Alex Eala's message has been delivered with precision and purpose. It tells the WTA that she is ready to be part of the conversation, not as a curiosity, but as a competitor. And as the tour moves forward, that message will continue to echo, shaping expectations and inspiring the next chapter of women's tennis.